Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Beautiful. I'm doing well, thank you.
Uh, I have to start by just asking, how do I say your name? I hear different things.
Now, there is a little stress on the first syllable, the EL. So it's Elkanah.
Elkanah. Elkanah.
Yes, Elkanah. Yes,
Elkanah. My first question would be like,
yes.
where in Nigeria were you born? Where are you from? Tell me.
From the north.
Okay.
So the country is divided, into three different parts. So you find the north, and then you find the southeast, and then the southwest.
Hmm.
And for me, I am more between, I am close to the far, north.
Were you born Christian? Were you raised in a Christian family? How did you become?
Yes, yes. I am a third generation Christian from my mother's side and second from my father's side. So yeah, so
In a
it's
Presbyterian church?
no, no, no,
What did
no.
you start?
I was not born Presbyterian.
Okay.
I wasn't born Presbyterian, and I did not attend a Presbyterian church in Nigeria.
At all?
Even once,
Oh,
absolutely. I was a minister with an evangelical church in Nigeria. So I was there, and I left again January 2011. Yeah.
so you were in an evangelical church in Nigeria. You felt
Yes.
called to continue your studies, and God led you to Nova Scotia. But how do you then
Correct.
become Presbyterian? What happened there?
There is a long story there, but just to shorten things too, uh, on the campus of Acadia, then be- behold came the Reverend Dr. Chim Archibald.
Oh yes, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Now, now team at that time he was doing his deeming at Acadia.
Hmm.
Okay, so we met during chapel hour and just chatted, and that's it. And he said, "Come pay us a visit," and that was it. So I just went there and I got hooked,
Oh,
and that was it. So,
I I would think that your experience of worship would be very different in a Presbyterian church. What was that like for you?
team, you see, King's Presbyterian Church, where Reverend Team was, uh, truly it felt so much like home for me.
Oh,
Okay, so but when you talk about the order of service, typically it's not different. But one thing that you will find in African church, whether it's uh, Presbyterian or Pentecostal, is that people dance, people clap, people sing a lot.
mhm.
Okay, so whichever church, as long as it's African, you tend to see things like that. So that is unique in the sense of that's how the people just worship, irrespective of denomination. So yeah, so I found King's Church quite at home, and they play, music is great. Music is great at King's. Um, yeah.
I assume they don't dance at King. Dancing there?
But we dance at King's because there are a few Africans at King's too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were. I think two African families. I met, and sometimes I can be a little stoic. Sometimes my wife can just dance the stoic out of me immediately. So so and my wife, she dances and enjoys worship the best way she knows how to, which is to sing joyfully and dance. in God's presence, So, yeah. So,
I was in Ghana for a month and I got to see some worship services, and just the dancing part of it was just so moving and powerful,
mm,
and like I came back just wishing we could do something like that. It's just not
mm,
I don't think it would ever work here, but it
mm,
was just so wonderful. Um
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it is.
You haven't got the folks at Forbes dancing, have you?
That would be a miracle, I would think.
Where do you see some hope for the Presbyterian Church in Canada?
That's a really good question, Mark. I really see hope uh, in none other but in the Lord.
Hmm.
Okay, that's my that's my starting point in the Lord, because as the lectionary, reading for this week is, showing us someone who just last week we read that, hey, how, can I just build a place for the Lord? God deserves a befitting place. But the next reading, the guy just fumbled,
Hmm.
right? So the point being is that uh, if we look or if we depend on people, they are going to fail.
Hmm.
And so we have to depend on the Lord. So that should be the starting point. So to me, that is the starting place for me. And the next thing is, of course, a little bit, on the first, which is the fact that with God, all things are possible. I hold on to that scripture with every seriousness that you can imagine. I take it seriously that with God, all things are possible, that we can do it, you know. So if you're talking about church revitalization, yes, with God, all things are possible. If we will listen a little more and be willing um, to respond wherever the Lord is leading us. Because sometimes the Lord leads to uncomfortable places, you know, and maybe you've been doing the same thing for so many years, right? Um, but sometimes the Lord is saying, yeah, I have seen it, I have heard it, but I want you to go a little bit this way. I know you've been this way, but just go a little bit this way. Now, um, how are we open to responding to that, leading, even though it's uncomfortable, right? It's not a comfort zone for us, but how are we open to, that? So these are some of the things that when I look at, the fact that um, with God, all things are possible. And also the fact that when I look around me, like in Grande Prairie here, um, God has set up so many establishments, so many things around town here. There are so many things that when I look around, I really see hope. So in the inside, I see that there are people like here at Forbes, people are really committed to seeing how we can do better. People are committed to that, and I'm thankful to God for that. And when I look at outside, there are people. So if there are people outside, if if uh, the world is not is not without people, so there are people. So that is a reason for
Yeah.
really reason for hope because there are people out there, right? So when I look at that, um, yes, I feel hope. I really feel hopeful for the church.
I like that.